What's the most unethical thing I've ever seen private equity lawyers do just to win a case for their billionaire clients? Well, buckle up, because it doesn't get much more vulgar, vile, or disgusting. This involved a very large law firm fighting in a secret arbitration case. And it was a small business owner versus a big private equity firm. The primary litigant was pregnant. She'd been trying for a long time, too, actually. She was really happily pregnant. And there came a point where she was having a lot of trouble, I guess, from the stress. And she was high risk. Other side found out about it. And they started trying to apply additional pressure just to force her to capitulate or give up. She didn't want to give up, but they really, really laid on additional motions, additional filings, additional demands. Every time she sent over a doctor's note, it got worse and worse. There came a point where it became clear she was likely to lose the baby. And she's Catholic. And so she was choosing no interventions and choosing to try to see if it could be remedied. In that case, she provided a doctor's note saying she couldn't travel because she was litigating out of state. And the litigators noticed her deposition a 5-hour plane ride away and issued subpoenas when they found out she was likely to lose the baby. So she would have no choice but to choose between settling or capitulating or complying with the subpoena. That weekend, the stress was too much. She was diagnosed with a miscarriage, loss of heartbeat. And the same day, 30 minutes after the other side was notified that she was in active labor and her contractions were 3 minutes apart, the private equity law firm sent a motion to compel to the arbitrator, asking that he force her to be produced bedside in labor for the deposition while she was losing a child. And when he said, no, I don't think we should do that, they filed a second motion to compel, asking that he order the woman to expedite the scheduling of an abortion against her religious beliefs. Because, hey, she was losing the baby anyway, right? And said that they wanted it scheduled as fast as possible so she could be produced immediately thereafter. Again, the arbitrator said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I think we should wait and find out what her choice is. But that was also not enough. So instead of complying with the order of the arbitrator, the private equity lawyers just stopped copying the arbitrator. They ignored his order and sent another email threatening that if she didn't schedule the procedure against her beliefs by 7 o'clock the following day, that they would take action or seek sanctions, which, if you don't know what that means, it can cost tens of thousands of dollars to defend against a sanctions motion. And she was already in active labor. She was tired. She was exhausted. And even that was not enough. The day after that, while she was still in labor and had not yet passed the baby, they sent another email saying if she did not continue to produce documents throughout her labor and thereafter, even though the arbitrator had said she was going to be given time to recover emotionally and physically, that they would file a sanctions motion against her still. She finally capitulated under the weight of their threats, and against every belief she had, every faith and conviction she had, she scheduled the procedure. And then they filed the sanctions motion anyway. And if you believe that can't happen in America, you'd be wrong. Because in secret arbitrations where the world can't see it, anything can happen when you've got enough money. And the reality is, if it had happened in a court of law, the judge would have been required to refer those lawyers for investigation or for bar review. But that didn't happen in this case. What I do know is that the state bar in that state is now investigating the attorneys because she filed a bar complaint against them for their inhuman vile, disgusting conduct. For the record, they ended up deposing her while she was still having labor contraction pains and had to breathe her way through it. And in case you're wondering why I have so much detail, it's because it was me. It's because it was me. I haven't known how to talk about that on this app. And I thought if I could talk about it like it was someone else, I could get through it. I don't force my beliefs on other people. They stole my choice. Just to make an example of me. And the State Bar of Arizona has opened an investigation, and I am grateful. But they'll probably get away with it because DLA Piper gets away with everything. And the billionaires that paid for them to do that to me claim that they run a company that serves children and mothers. But they did that to me the day I lost my baby. And that's what winning was worth. Those are the kinds of things they've done in the last year to destroy my life. And it came out in the press, and I can't hide from it anymore. So I knew I had to say so. Because when the State Bar opened the investigation, it became a public record. And I didn't know how to talk to you guys about that, because when you talk about an issue so divisive, half of you are going to be upset with me for being pro-choice for my body because I'm Catholic. And half of you are going to be upset because I don't force my pro-life beliefs on others. But in reality, everyone should be upset that anyone can get away with what they did. And they did. He didn't do anything to them. And I didn't get a single day to grieve. And that's why, no matter what they do to me, no matter what they say, I will never, ever stop fighting. Ever. Because if they can do this to me, they're doing it to other people. And that's why I fight. That's why I fight. That's what the article's about. I mentioned the other day, but it's not available online yet, so I can't share it with you guys. It's still just in the magazine. But they found out because it's a public record now, and everybody's watching my case. Sorry this was such a long one, and I'm sorry for anyone I triggered. But I'm grateful for every one of you for helping me to fight. And I hope you stay with me and we fight until we do something to help others so that they don't go through what I've been through. The lawyers are DLA Piper, and the 3 lawyers being investigated are Laura Six Killer, Arizona; Madeline Cordray, Arizona; Norman Leon, State Bar of Illinois, pro-hacked in to Arizona. And you guys can verify any of that you want with the State Bar of Arizona.